Welcome everybody to the holiday edition and ladies night here for Rumbauer Hour. We've kicked the guys out. The girls are in, girls all night long. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm Reagan Rumbauer. I'm part of the third generation of the Rumbauer family and the associate brand manager of Rumbauer Vineyards. And I'm coming to you live from my kitchen in Dallas, Texas, where I live with my husband and 2 dogs, and I'm joined here with Charlotte.
Hey everyone, I'm Charlotte DeVilliers. I'm the Mid-Atlantic Regional Sales Manager for Rumbauer Vineyards. I actually reside in Charleston, South Carolina, so I flew my way over here so that Reagan and I could host our third Rumbauer Hour together, but finally we get to be in person.
Yay!
Yay! So that we can give you all of the entertaining tips and tricks for the evening, specifically catered to our holiday editions. So.
Before we get started, tell everybody a little bit about what you do as a regional manager and what states you cover.
Yeah, so I cover Pennsylvania down to South Carolina. I have 8 states. I love my job. I love the family. That means Rumbauer family, but everybody else that's involved. And typically what I do is I assist in hosting wine dinners. I work with our distributors to ensure that you have your product in your respective state. And it's kind of nice though sometimes to be able to get out of state and come somewhere new. And I've been exploring Dallas and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you to be here together. Like you mentioned, we've got a lot in store this evening. So, but first things first, we need to pour some wine, we already did for ourselves.
We had a couple of sips before.
We might have been enjoying some before. But cheers, Charlotte.
Cheers,
thanks for
Reagan.
joining us. Cheers to everybody else. Hopefully
Cheers.
you guys have opened a bottle, are enjoying, and we'll have some appetizers with us, or just enjoy your bottle of wine by itself as well.
Why not?
So let's get started.
Yeah, don't forget that we are live both on Facebook and YouTube. So if you have any questions or comments, please put those in the comment section so that we can address them as they come through.
Yes, definitely. We would love to get all of your questions. So I think we're going to start our holiday entertaining out with appetizers, like we would normally start our evenings if we are entertaining at home or having guests over. And we have kind of something special. I want to talk about it.
Yeah, so we've got Betty Brady here with us tonight. Unfortunately, she's not here, but she's supplied us with our first entertaining tip for the evening.
And it's really a versatile appetizer.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so we're so grateful to you, Betty. You are our friend and our comrade, but Betty has what we love and have tonight is our figs.
Hello, Rumbauer family. My name is Betty Brady. My husband Mark and I are big fans of Rumbauer wine. So much so that we consider Rumbauer part of our family. Rumbauer has been with us through some of the most amazing moments in our lives. We celebrated our very first wedding anniversary with a lovely 2007 Merlot, and we've been drinking Rumbauer wine ever since. I'm coming to you from our kitchen in Roseville, California, where my husband Mark and I love to host wine dinner parties for our friends. Even though the menu may change, one thing remains constant. We serve lots of Rumbauer wine. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 2 of our favorite recipes. The first one is baked figs with prosciutto. Grab a glass of your favorite Rumbauer wine and let's get cooking. Cheers. The first ingredient, the star of the show, the figs. The second ingredient, the cheese. You can have goat's cheese, you can have sheep's cheese, or you can have blue cheese. It's a very versatile recipe, and today I'm going to do blue cheese. Then you'll have some freshly sliced prosciutto. And if you'd like, you can have drizzle on top some honey, a lovely balsamic glaze, or you can add pecans or walnuts to your figs before you bake them. What I love about this recipe, it's super easy, everybody loves it, and it's based on how many people you're going to have. Make sure before you assemble your ingredients, you turn your oven on to 400 degrees. To get started, we're going to start with the figs and the prosciutto. You'll take your prosciutto, you'll lay it on your assembly board here. You'll take your fig, lay it on your prosciutto. I'm going to use blue cheese for this one. You put your blue cheese on the top. You kind of smash it down a little bit. You can also take and put a piece of walnut on it if you'd like. Then you take and you wrap your prosciutto like a present for the holidays. And then you lay it in your pan. Now that your figs are rolled, it's time to put them in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes or until your prosciutto is crispy. While we wait for our figs to finish, let's talk about wine. If you like white wine, Chardonnay goes lovely with these figs. Myself, I'm a red wine lover, so for me, Merlot is the ticket. Once they're plated, you have the option of putting some honey on them or some balsamic glaze. For today, I'm going to use the balsamic glaze. And now they're ready to serve.
Wow, that looked so good. Thank you so much, Betty, for sharing that beautiful recipe with us. Betty and Mark have been longtime wine club members, and we just want to say thank you so much for your loyalty. And we know you've come to every single, I mean, you've watched it online, but we feel like you're here with us every single Rombauer hour, and we really, really appreciate that. So we're so happy that we could feature some of your beautiful recipes. We have here our rendition of the figs, which beautiful presentation here. You know, when we're talking about entertaining, we always want something that's going to be really nice on the tabletop, that's both delicious and pleasing to the eye. I think that's a great tip for entertaining. But ours do look a little bit different than Betty's do.
Betty, thanks for the recipe, but we had a little bit of a prosciutto shortage here in Dallas. So we didn't wrap our figs. We were able to improvise, and we crumbled a little bit on top to have a little bit of crunch as well. And so you'll see the balsamic drizzle you added.
Yes, and a little bit of pomegranate seed, just a couple small touches to really enhance this beautiful dish, which already has very beautiful color as well. And typically, I think what was fun about this version, you know, we've seen wrapped figs before, dates, but having the fig not dried.
Yeah, fresh figs. This is a first for me, and so I'm excited to try it. Should we try it?
I think so. So we ended up going blue cheese as well to do the same rendition. So let's start out trying it with the Chardonnay.
Okay, that sounds good.
We've got our little tasting portions over here.
Yes, tasting portions. Oh, so good. Oh, the freshness of the fig already is immaculate.
And with the Chardonnay, the cheese and the nut is just a really beautiful creaminess that goes really well with the Chardonnay. I can definitely see this as a great pairing.
Yeah, I agree. It's also nice to have something that's a little bit on the lighter side. You know, Betty had mentioned that we could use various cheeses, that we could use various nuts, and I love, you know, as you mentioned earlier, Reagan, having a versatile appetizer, something where you can customize to your liking and to your pairing. So that being said, I think it goes great with the Chardonnay.
Yes.
Should we try it with the Merlot?
Let's try it with the Merlot,
Okay.
the other option,
All right.
which I love that we can do a white or red with this dish.
Yes, I agree.
Have the rest of my bite here. We're trying to be polite. It's a completely different experience trying it with the Merlot. Really, really lovely.
It really is, actually. There's something to be said about the salty prosciutto, and the fig component, which we usually use as a characteristic for our Merlot.
It really pops out in the dish when paired with the Merlot. Both those were delightful. I love also when we're thinking about entertaining that this is something that I don't also have to have, you know, side plates for or forks for. This is something that's grab, it's a bite or two, and I think that's an important element when we're talking about entertaining and kind of planning out what we're going to do. You know, keep it simple, clean, and a dish that pairs with red and white wine. I think this is a great way to start the evening.
Oh my gosh, I know. Before we move on, there was a question that I'd like to respond to from Jennifer in Virginia. Hi, Jennifer. I'm Charlotte. I would love to host a wine dinner in Richmond. I often do. Virginia is my home state, and I'll take any excuse to come back. So please feel free to reach out to me, charlotted@rombauer.com, and we can get something set up.
Yay, that would be fun.
I know.
And yes, please keep those comments and questions coming in. We're definitely keeping an eye on that and answering as we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fig dish is a great way to start, but there's lots of other appetizers. What we'd like now is everybody to get in the comment section and share their favorite way to start out the evening, whether it's a light bite, an appetizer, and what wines they enjoy with that. We'd really appreciate that. And I'm sure other people watching will appreciate getting some more ideas.
Yeah. Speaking of more ideas, Reagan has historically always said they do it big here in Texas, right?
Of course.
So you have an app that you might want to share with us.
I do. So I love spicy. Here in Texas, we like spicy things. So I had to do a jalapeno bacon popper. Jalapeno with a little cream cheese inside. You can get creative with the filling, and then wrapped in bacon. And it's nice and charred because we did it on the smoker. Of course, we have to barbecue here in Texas. So just a fun bite. This is definitely something that goes really fast, whether you leave them on skewers or have them individually. Again, something that's just going to be a bite or two, a great grab off the table. Very popular dish. Just want to make sure that you get all the seeds out of the jalapenos. That's going to be your hot tip, because you don't want it too hot of a dish.
Your literal hot tip.
Hot tip, don't make it too hot. Take the seeds out of the jalapenos.
Right, yeah. Or you could do every other jalapeno and surprise your guests.
Whoa, and there they go. So that is my appetizer that I have to share with everybody. Hopefully lots of other people are sharing their favorite appetizers and what wines they enjoy those with. And really, even the jalapeno with the cream cheese in it and that spiciness and the beautiful city and the Chardonnay, it can go.
Yeah, I agree. I bet that would be awesome.
So I've shared my favorite. So now we need to talk about your favorite appetizer and maybe something that people are noticing on the front of the countertop here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed, but our last couple of Rombauer hours that we've done together, I've created cheese and charcuterie boards, and they seem to be getting bigger and bigger. And maybe this one's particularly big because we're in Texas.
Yeah, it's the Texas size board.
Right. I've actually through all these Rombauer hours and building out the cheese pairings that you can find on our website at rombauer.com, I've accrued the name of Cheese Lady.
The Cheese Lady.
The Cheese Lady. And I
Which
love
basically, I mean, people love cheese, so it just means the lady that we really love.
Oh, thanks,
Yes,
Reagan.
yes.
I love that. So we've built for you here a behemoth of a cheese and charcuterie board. We had a lot of fun building it out, and we've added some different elements than we have in the past. So you'll notice there's a plethora of items on the board.
Yeah.
And
So talk us through, I think if we're starting with, we're talking about Chardonnay and Merlot right now. So when you have your wines kind of in mind, maybe that you're thinking about that you're going to start your evening with, where do you start when you go to the grocery store? Is it cheese and meats? Is it an overall design? Where do you start?
that's a great question. You can really start however you want. The beautiful thing about cheese and charcuterie boards, I'm sure many of you are familiar with, especially with all the posts on Pinterest and Instagram, is that they're very customizable and they can be to your liking or to the liking of your guests. So I usually like to start with kind of something right in the middle and build out from there.
A focus point.
A focus point.
Going to draw the eye, because of course it's very edible, but it's also a design piece as well. It can really be a centerpiece to your table or to your island.
Yes, I love that, to the island, yes. So absolutely, I like to make sure that I include a bunch of different elements, right? So we're talking cheese, charcuterie, different kinds. I think it's really important to showcase various milks, right?
Yeah.
So I learned this when my sister and I actually managed a cheese and wine bar / restaurant in Northern Virginia for 5 years together. And I learned all things cheese.
Yeah, we don't just call you the cheese lady. You're actually an expert.
Right. I would like to think so. So It was a really pivotal moment for me in my career, but I've continued to use cheese boards as kind of a conversation piece, and also a piece where you can all stand around and have a conversation, right? Not maybe just about the cheese. So we've built this really big board for you here today. And I mentioned having different milks.
Yes. So what are the different milks that you picked out for this board in particular, keeping Chardonnay in mind particularly?
Yeah, so with Chardonnay, I really, especially Rombauer Chardonnay, which we all know is beloved by many, I really love pairing it with softer cheeses, particularly brie or a goat cheese. We have a couple of goat cheeses here today, and they're both from my favorite creamery in the United States called Cypress Grove, which also happens to be Californian, so local, right?
Yeah, local to the Napa Valley, kind of a theme for the night, keeping things local. I think that's great. And so you have some goat, and then what are the other types of cheeses that you selected for the board?
So I have a couple of hard cheeses. I have a sheep's milk cheese here called Brebis Russe that I really enjoy. It's been historically one of my sister and I's favorite cheese. And then, you have a blue cheese, which I think is really important, not just for taste profile, but for, as you can see, aesthetic purposes as well.
Wonderful. So, okay, we've have our wines in mind. We go to the grocery store, we select some cheeses. We're getting different types of from different animals, right? We're getting a few different cheeses, maybe from a few different producers, from different places around the world, some different characteristics. And then where do you go from there? It looks like we have some beautiful meats on the board and kind of thinking Merlot.
Yes, so with our Merlot, I really believe that our charcuterie selection is really important. We have a variety of salamis here. We have a couple different prosciuttos, one that's called Speck, which is a smoked prosciutto, a pate, and I don't know, should we taste a little bit of each?
I think we should. Do you want to start with the Chardonnay with some sheep's milk?
I think so. Yeah, let's do that. So we have
No, we tried to find sheep's milk.
Oh, wait,
we
no,
couldn't
not
find
sheep's
it.
milk.
And we
Goat's
have goat's milk.
So
I
we
stand corrected.
We have our little boards over here, which is really fun.
Tasting boards.
Yes. Something to consider when you're tasting cheese with wine is whether or not it will be bitter, right? Whether or not it's going to create a bitterness in your mouth, because that's what we don't want. What we're
avoiding that. We want
we want balance.
Balance, the beautiful creaminess, and the goat's milk is just wonderful with that creamy undertone in the Chardonnay. Absolutely delightful.
That is so tasty. That actually works so well. I love it.
Perfect. Okay. Goat's milk with Chardonnay.
Yes.
Check. We've got it. And then what would you say Merlot and our meats? What do we have to taste?
So we have over here on our sampling boards our copa. So it's a pork shoulder, really tasty, very marbled.
Beautiful fat. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a finger eater. Yeah. See,
I already put it in my mouth.
There you go. So I think, it's really important to, again, once understand that this is to your liking. I always preach, and I have forever, that you eat what you like, you should drink what you like. And when the two come together, same thing, right? We're just here to help guide you.
It's magic when it comes together.
Magic.
Okay.
It's magic. So again, we have a variety of meats there, and how is it?
Wonderful. The fat, and with a red wine like our Merlot, which has a beautiful velvet texture, but does have that little bit of backbone and structure to it as well. It's quite delightful. Okay, so we've talked about some different meats and methodology behind selecting our meats and cheeses. There's also an art to putting together, and I see here that we've selected some like seasonal vegetables and fruits, and that really helps add those elements. We have some nuts as well. How do you put it together aesthetically? What are you thinking?
Yeah, Reagan went out and bought these super adorable baby butternut squashes, which I love.
And baby carrots.
And baby
artichokes. We just found all the
babies.
All the littles.
Babies for a big board.
Yes.
Oh, well, that way we can fit more on there. But no, so I think, you want to balance out the colors. You and I talked about textures, and we talked about heights. You want to have some certain things that are lower and some things that are higher.
Yeah, I love the pop of greenery. Also edible with our snap peas. We have some herbs for some texture and height, some dried tomatoes, which are going to be enjoyable, but then also enjoyable as part of, building on some of our bread basket here and with the cheeses, but also just that nice texture and color like we're talking about. So a balance of cheeses and meats that are going to pair with your wines, and then adding in that texture and color and thinking grabbable small bites. And of course, you can't forget olives.
Olives. You always gotta have
Always
olives.
have olives.
Always. People
New
either
slogan.
love or hate olives. Always gotta have olives.
I'm personally on the always have to have them spectrum. And then you also have a few little goodies at the front there. Can we talk about those? The honey and the preserves.
Yeah, so I think it's really imperative to have honey on a board. Or something sweet, right? Whether it's a fig or jam or preserves.
You could drizzle.
Oh, yes.
If you don't have it in its own container, that's an option.
Yes, 100%. And so we have honey there, then we have orange fig spread, which is my go-to. I love it because both go really well with blue cheese.
And the fig's going to be delicious with Merlot
And
as
there
well.
you
We're
go.
always tying back to the wine.
But even beyond the sweet honey and jam, you can have fruit on the board, just like we have our vegetables. I think it's good to have something that's fresh and healthy for people who, as you said earlier, don't eat cheese.
Or can't eat cheese, or are maybe vegan and they don't eat meats or cheeses.
Right.
And so we've got some greens. So we're thinking about different guests at the party. You know your guests that are coming. You know what you enjoy as well, which maybe selfishly I would think about what I enjoy first when I'm building a board. But I think it's a beautiful balance. And then we also did add a little bit of a fall element with the squash. We've got some cranberries, some pomegranate.
Chestnuts.
And I think it's just a nice nod to seasonality as well.
I agree. This is the holiday edition after all.
Okay, so we have given lots of love to our big board,
Yes.
but maybe somebody doesn't have that many people coming over. They're not ready to invest in this much because the cheeses do add up, as we learned when
they
we
do.
were purchasing. And so they want to do something a little bit smaller, a little simpler. Maybe instead of filling every inch, they want to enjoy some space on their board. So I think we have another option for them as well.
Yes. So this takes a lot of work, and as Reagan said, it takes a good chunk of money as well. So if you're enjoying your cheese board at home with your family or your close girlfriends for ladies' night, or you're me and you do it by yourself at home, that's
Party
okay
of
too.
one, there's nothing wrong with that.
I love it. That means more cheese for me. You can build a smaller board, right? So this is far more simple. But it has all the elements that we discussed,
Yes.
right? So you have 2 different kinds of meats. You have 3 different kinds of milk. So this goat's milk, sheep's milk, cow's milk, a little bit of fruit. But I do feel like this may be missing something.
I think it's missing something, and I think another contributor to the show might have the missing element.
We're looking at you, Betty.
I think we need to add the figs
We need
to
to
the
add
board.
some figs.
Add the figs.
Let's go. We're doing the figs. And there we have it.
Perfection.
I love it.
And what I love about this, you can really see what Charlotte did. She's got her centerpiece, as she mentioned, and then even with just a few items, she's added visual interest by slicing the strawberry. She rolled some of her meat. She bunched other meat. We added some layers. We have little small skinny pieces. You have some triangles. And I think just all those small touches, whether you're sharing it with lots of people or a party of 2 or a party of 1, treat yourself, have something beautiful and Instagrammable
all day.
to share, and just absolutely beautiful. And this is a simpler version, and you really can enjoy the board underneath as well, using that warmth of the board as kind of your empty space.
Yep, exactly. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we've talked apps.
We have.
Okay. I feel like
What comes after appetizers?
entrees.
entrees, mains.
So I understand you've been working hard.
I have. So there's a particular dish that we talk about quite a bit at the winery.
Okay.
And if anybody has any guesses or remembers some previous episodes about a favorite meat that the winemakers particularly talk about quite a bit, we decided to take a Texas spin on that, and we threw it on the barbecue, and I'm going to bring it out here right now.
Yeah, so we like to indulge ourselves. We always have to start with an app, and then we go to an entree, and we'll talk about what comes after that later on. But look at this, y'all.
Beautiful. We're calling it our Texas rack of lamb.
Love
the
it.
recipe's on the website. We started with a French rack of lamb, which is this particular cut where you have your bone. It's nice and trimmed. It's beautiful. We want to make sure that the membrane is off the meat, which you can ask your butcher to do. You just want to make sure that's off before you're going to go to cook it. And to make it Texas style, we put it on our Traeger pellet grill. You know, a lot of times you can do this in the oven. There's lots of recipes available for that, but put it on the grill and just absolutely beautiful. We're gonna really lock in that flavor. So we started simple once we brought this lamb home from the butcher shop, and we just did a little herb topping here. And we have some thyme, parsley, and added a little rosemary as well, and garlic.
Oh, you always have
Of
to
course,
have garlic.
a lot of garlic, actually, to be honest. I think it said half a head of garlic, and I just went ahead and did the entire thing.
I love it.
You can't have too much. If you enjoy garlic, more the merrier. And a little bit of olive oil as well. And we just dressed it nicely, put it on the Traeger that was already preheated in about 15 minutes to get your perfect internal temperature, which we did 145, so kind of a medium. And what I love about this French preparation of the lamb is just the beautiful look you can get. I think this is, I love to leave it whole versus cutting it into the lollipops. And bringing it out whole, you can dress it on a bed of greens. I just did a few sprigs of rosemary that I had left over, and it's just beautiful, tasty. When we bring it out, we're gonna let it rest a little bit and just kind of finish cooking. And to bring this out to the table, cut it up. It's all about presentation when we're talking about entertaining. Cut it up, and we're going to enjoy this beautiful presentation. Although this is a simple dish, lamb's kind of something special that we bring for, I see it a little bit more during the holidays. For me anyways, it's something special for the holidays. And so we needed a special wine to go with this.
Yeah.
So we brought out one of our special limited production wines, and that is our Diamond Selection Cabernet. So I need to pour us a little bit.
Yeah, so while you do that, I've got an extra glass here too.
Oh, so convenient, Charlotte. I'm glad we're able to find an extra glass.
Yeah, right. So while Reagan's pouring the Diamond Selection, I'd like to mention that I think that this is the most quintessential pairing that you can find for lamb. It's just one of these wines that's so special. It's extremely elegant. Why, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
It has a lot of structure. It has very supple tannins. It is what we consider to be like creme de la creme, if you will, of Rombauer Vineyards. And it's just one of those things that I'm very proud to have out in market. Every time we're able to get it in front of our loyal consumers and buyers, they're blown away by how consistent the quality is, and yet the quality increases year over year.
And it's a barrel selection of the best barrels out of the best lots for that vintage of Cabernet. Yeah. Oh, wait, we need to drink some. And not only is it a beautiful wine that's in the bottle, but when we're talking about holidays, we're talking about entertaining, I think it's really nice to bring out. And it's an excuse, get those wines out of your library or buy something a little bit special to share with people. And so this special packaging here, our beautiful foil, I think it's a nice moment of joy sharing this lamb in your diamond selection.
Yeah.
We have got a really beautiful fat cap on the lamb. You know, if you salt it, that's really going to help stand up to a bigger Cabernet. And it's just absolutely delightful.
It's great. So I have to ask you something though.
Okay.
That's a lot of lamb. It's you and your husband here, right? So how
What do you mean? It's one for each of us. This is Texas, baby. We can eat meat.
Yeah. Y'all do it big here. I get it.
This is definitely for sharing with a few people, which luckily we have here tonight. We're going to enjoy later.
Yeah. So if you were to share this, I mean, it looks like it's perfect enough for 4 people.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Good.
We'll go with that. We'll say 4.
We'll do 4.
Yeah.
You know, a couple people don't have to eat. But realistically, if you were to serve this as your entree and you were having guests over, how many bottles of wine do you think you should have? How much does
Kind of rule of thumb.
Yeah, like how much does a bottle serve?
That's a really good question, and I think it's important because, you know, when we're thinking about entertaining, we need to plan ahead a little bit. We need to, you know, not only do we need to plan for the food, but we need to plan for the drinks as well. And I think when we're talking wine, typically from a bottle of wine, our rule of thumb, you know, we're not tasting, we're sitting down, we're having a nice glass of wine with our dish. And so we say usually 4 glasses of wine per bottle.
Yes.
And typically we would guess if our guests enjoy drinking as much as we do, they're at least having 2 glasses.
Yes.
So I like to say pretty safe 1 bottle of wine per 2 guests.
Okay.
So if we have 4 guests, we're gonna get at least 2 bottles of wine. I always think it's nice to have a backup. You know, if you splurged a little bit on 2 nice bottles, maybe you have a backup that is a little bit more budget friendly, but it is always nice. The worst thing is to run out of wine, right?
Gosh, that is absolutely the worst thing.
So I think 2 guests per bottle of wine is a good rule of thumb to have. And then you're also going to need to take into account, you know, are people drinking wine with the appetizers, or are you doing cocktails first before you sit down and have, you know, maybe a starter and a main and dessert? And are you having different wines with different courses? Are you having one wine throughout? If you're having one wine throughout, maybe it's a bottle of wine per person. So you have to start to think about your coursing. But for 1 course, 1 dish, we're thinking about 2 glasses of wine per person.
Yes.
And that means
One
bottle of wine per 2 people.
Yeah, so if you're having Betty Brady's figs as an appetizer, as a finger food to start with,
Yes.
you want to have maybe a bottle of Chardonnay or the Merlot, and then if you have the entree, then you have a bottle of the Diamond. But it never hurts to have a little bit of extra.
And sometimes people don't want red wine. They only prefer white,
Sure.
which is why we were saying the fig is such a nice option since it is so versatile. So start to think a little bit of that through, write it out a little bit. I think some planning never hurts. Another thing to think about is making sure you get your white wines chilled down in time. Nothing worse than serving your wines too hot or also too cold. You can chill them too much. Putting your white wines in the refrigerator is actually going to be cooler than suggested. So make sure you take them out far enough in advance that they aren't too chilled and you lock down that flavor too much. I think another fun element can be large formats.
Yes, absolutely. I love large formats. I recently purchased one from Rombauer to take to Thanksgiving, and I will be sure to get another one for Christmas. They just have such an element of surprise and cheer and joy, and I think it's just one of those things that you can surprise everyone with it, right? You can wow them.
And we've had a little bit of a problem of our large formats being very popular this year,
Yes,
but we
very.
do still have some Chardonnay Magnums, which is the size I have in front of me, and some Zinfandel Magnums available at the winery. So if you're interested, call in to find out about availability on those. But how many, people get intimidated by large formats sometimes,
Yes.
but it can be such a fun moment to open up a large bottle. And really, this isn't too much wine. So if you have 4 people at your party, let's say, how many glasses of wine kind of are we thinking out of a Magnum?
So a Magnum is 2 bottles. So if we're saying one 750, one normal size bottle, this is my normal size.
This is where we start.
Is 4 glasses. Then a Magnum would be 8 glasses. So really for 4 people, if you're sticking to the 2 glass rule, I think
For
a Magnum
a
is
course, a way to start the evening,
Yes.
it's actually we think a reasonable
reasonable amount of wine.
to have. And like we said, it's a moment, it's a fun thing, it's something people take pictures of, and it's special.
It's special. Yep.
Holidays, we always want that special moment, right?
I love it. So this is what you mentioned, holidays. So this
Yes.
is a perfect holiday meal, right? So
Since we're talking about holidays, we start thinking about gifting.
Yes,
maybe.
of course.
What am I going to get for other people? What am I going to get for myself?
what am I going to get you?
And what am I going to get you, Charlotte? You are a gift to me,
Aw,
so
I love it.
But we do actually have some real gifts that
Yes.
other people can enjoy. And Charlotte and Nicolette from Rumbauer have a special segment, and they're going to talk about some special Rumbauer gifting options.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Rydell, Director of Customer Engagement. We're filming here today in my home, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Nicolette Ortega, our wine club manager. We've got some beautiful gift sets that we would love to share with you. We like to try to get together every year and figure out which wines are going to go in gift sets, and we have 2 of our favorites year after year that I'd like to share with you, and then we also have a couple of new sets this year that Nicolette will share. So one of the favorites is the Life of the Party gift pack. This gift pack comes with 2 stemless glasses, which are really, really fun and makes a beautiful gift set. I give this all the time, and people absolutely love it. Also, a favorite of our customers is our 3 Cheers gift pack. So this is a great set for any wine lover, 3 different varietals of wine. We've got our Zinfandel, our Chardonnay, and our Napa Valley Merlot. Can't go wrong here.
This year we have 2 new gift sets. We have our Proprietor Selection gift set that includes a bottle of our Proprietor Zinfandel as well as a bottle of our Proprietor Merlot and a sleek gold wine key. We also have my very favorite, our Zinfandel Trio gift set that includes a bottle of our Eldorado Zinfandel, our Rombauer Zinfandel, and our Napa Valley Zinfandel.
These gift sets also make really fun corporate gifts. So if any of you have a need to give gift sets to colleagues, customers, and we can also do some other fun things relating to that.
We offer virtual tastings. If after you receive your gift set and would like to gather everyone together to taste those together, we can set that up for you with one of our hosts.
Perfect. And if wine gift sets aren't something you're looking for, we have a few other options for gifting as well.
Backed by popular demand, we have our hand-painted ornaments from Poland, as well as our wooden cheese board, great for entertaining and hostess gifts.
And we have this really fun dog toy. It squeaks, and Addie loves this toy. We also have large format bottles, which if there's a better time in the entire year to break out your large formats, it's during the holidays. We can be reached at sharejoy@rombauer.com for any of these gifting needs. The hand-painted ornaments are only available at the winery. You won't find them online, as well as the dog toys. The gift sets and the wine should be readily accessible to you on our online shopping cart. We hope to hear from you soon. We wish you all a very happy holiday season full of love and joy. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy holidays.
Oh,
Wow.
welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm pouring myself some more wine. How are you doing over there, Charlotte?
I'm good.
Hopefully everybody's topped off at home.
I think you guys should be topping yourselves off. Thank you, Cheryl and Nicolette. That was awesome. Those are some amazing gifts. I sincerely wish and hope that I receive one in the mail.
Hint, hint.
Yeah, nudge, nudge.
I want some of those ornaments for my trees.
I know, me too. They're so
are really
beautiful.
fun.
I didn't even know that we made those.
So we actually have a special offer
Yes.
for you guys from
We do.
Cheryl and Nicolette. Thank you to them. Tonight only, we have a $10 off per gift pack. Gift packs only, but until midnight tonight, you can get $10 off each gift pack you order. And that's with the code GIFT10, GIFT10. So be sure to put your orders in tonight.
Yes, that offer ends at midnight this evening, right? West Coast time, I guess. Yes.
Yes, Pacific.
Yeah, Pacific. And make sure you plan ahead and shop early.
With everything.
With
Every-
everything
this year,
this
we know.
year. Yeah, so we ground shipping, we will cut off ground shipping on Thursday, December 9th. So if you do want to purchase any wine or gift these beautiful gift packs, please make sure you do so before December 9th.
Give yourself plenty of time. You know, I guess worst case if it shows up late, if you ordered too late, you get a New Year's gift to yourself.
Yeah, there's that. Or you still have wine, right?
Another option is to shop local.
Yes.
Tonight we got all of our cheeses from Eatsy's Central Market in Italy here in Dallas. And then we purchased our wine from Veritas Wine Room, from Pogo's, and from Dallas Fine Wines.
Yes.
So we love supporting local. And then
We do.
You know, that's just here in Dallas, but where can people find our wines near them? What's an easy way to do it?
The best way to do that is to go to our website, rombauer.com, and go to find your wines or our wines. And you can put in your zip code and it will show you what your local retailers or even restaurants are.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to our team as well.
Yeah, that's a great option. You can even get as detailed as looking for a specific wine and it will show you who's purchased in the last few months. So really good chance that they have it in stock, which is a great option. If you're like me and do a little last minute shopping and maybe your shipping wouldn't get there in time.
Right.
So I think that's always a good option to have. So we've enjoyed some appetizers.
Yes, we have enjoyed some entrees.
We talked about gifting.
Yes.
So now I think we need to get to the best part of any meal. And what would that be, Charlotte?
Dessert?
Obviously.
Obviously. So we'll leave it to Betty to show us her chocolate cake.
Top secret chocolate cake, by the way. The recipe she's never shared before. So let's see it, Betty.
Okay, now it's time to talk chocolate cake. My friends and family have been asking for years for my super secret recipe. It's time for the ingredients. 1 box of chocolate cake mix, 1 box of instant chocolate pudding, 16 ounces of sour cream, a half a cup of coffee liqueur. I'm choosing Frangelico, but this can also be made with Bailey's, Kahlua, or just plain decaf or regular coffee. 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 3 eggs, and 2 cups of Ghirardelli chocolate chips. Let's mix the ingredients. This is a super simple recipe. Everything goes in the bowl, and you fold the chocolate chips in at the end. Before we assemble our ingredients, make sure you preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So the first thing is we put the chocolate cake mix in the bowl. We put the chocolate pudding mix in the bowl. We mix in the eggs. We mix in the sour cream, the Frangelico, and the vegetable oil. We use our mixer, mix it all up till it's smooth. Then we fold in our chocolate chips, and we're done. Once you fold in the chocolate chips, it's ready to put in the pan. Before you pour the cake batter into the pan, you first spray it with a baking spray. And now it's ready to go in the oven. You'll know your cake is done when you take a toothpick and poke it, and it comes out clean. To finish off your cake, you can add a chocolate ganache, or powdered sugar, or fresh fruit. The choice is yours. I love pairing Rombauer Zinfandel with this chocolate cake. It's a match made in heaven. Thank you for joining me today in my kitchen. Cheers.
Oh my gosh. We got the secret chocolate cake recipe.
We did.
We recreated it. I think hers was a little bit prettier than mine. This is my first attempt, but
Reagan, it looks amazing.
we'll give it a B.
Okay.
B minus maybe.
Oh, okay.
Betty's was perfection. Obviously, it's her recipe that she's come up with. So we so appreciate it, Betty, sharing that recipe with us. And I know lots of people are going to be enjoying it this holiday season. So we just, on a service platter, a white service platter, the cake, we added a little cranberry for color, a little sprig of rosemary. And again, we're talking about presentation. Bringing this out to your table, not only does it look beautiful, but I think it's gonna taste beautiful too, and I can't wait any longer. I think we need to try our little bite here we have off to the side.
Yes, this was intentional. we needed to make sure we ended on a delicious chocolate dessert.
Yep. Okay.
All right, this looks incredible, Betty. Thank you for sharing with us.
So good. Super moist.
Oh, so moist. Wow, yum. And you know, to your point about the cranberries, we're talking about festivities, we're talking about holidays, all those things. I mean, how easy does that look to plate? I know the process wasn't super easy, but Betty did say it was. What do you think?
Yeah, throwing everything together, putting it in the oven, cooking, making sure it's cool before you're taking it out of the bundt pan, and then just a little bit of cranberry, which this time of year you can really grab from anywhere. Putting it on, beautiful, beautiful display. Tastes so good.
Oh my gosh.
And what do we have it paired with here, Charlotte? And why does this pairing work?
This is amazing. So we have our classic Zinfandel, Rombauer Zinfandel blue foil. For those of you who have
probably second only to Chardonnay as far as popularity.
Oh, 100%. It's amazing. The power behind this brand and the wines, it's incredible. But I will say that if you have not experienced the joy of our Zinfandel, you have got to go out and grab a bottle because
especially going into the holidays.
Oh, yes, it's perfect for Thanksgiving, for all the holidays in December. But to be able to pair something so beautiful as this chocolate cake with our Zinfandel is perfect.
And it's not too sugary and rich, and I really think that's where the sour cream comes in. And much like our Zinfandel, which is enjoyable with a lot of different dishes, with this dish, it's just absolutely delightful. Will you tell us a little bit more about the Zinfandel and kind of taste profile? And I know we love it with chocolate, but lots of different desserts, lots of different dishes on its own as well.
On its own.
By a warm fire with a blanket.
Definitely not by myself at home, right?
Or maybe always.
Maybe always. So our Zinfandel is not like your other Zinfandels. Of course not. Nothing we do is like anybody else.
No, it's Rombauer Zinfandel.
It's Rombauer. So typically, when you hear Zinfandel, one would think that it's big and bold and huge and excessive.
Super spicy.
Super spicy. This is not that. This is soft and supple and elegant. There are some elements of that spiciness because that's inherent to the grape.
But balance, like everything.
Balance.
Yes.
That's what we do. That's what we strive to do. That's what we achieve. And so between all those elements, in addition to the acidity, I think just goes perfectly with what you noticed with the cake, is that it's not overly sweet.
Nice and moist. We've got the texture of the semi-sweet chocolate chips in there. Delicious, easy to prepare.
Yes.
Easy to enjoy with our Zinfandel. And now I think Charlotte and I might just take this, and this might just be our dinner.
Yes, the guys can have the rack of lamb, and we'll take the chocolate cake.
Yes. Everybody else, I mean, the cheese board's pretty tempting as well, but we will give it up for the chocolate dessert.
Too big to carry, though.
Yeah, they can take that. We'll have this. We're headed out. But we would love to hear if anybody else has any favorite holiday desserts or holiday dessert pairings. We'd love to see that. I know our Solera and our Joy are beautiful things to enjoy for the holidays as well, but tonight we're enjoying our Zinfandel, which is just so special with Betty's chocolate cake. So just delicious. And
let us know if you have any other dessert pairings too with the Zinfandel. I'm always looking for some notes and tips for my future wine dinners.
We need ideas. Wine dinners. The holidays are coming up. We talked about planning. I haven't quite planned yet. So we're going to get it together here soon.
Yes, we are.
But we've had a lot of fun with you guys.
Yes.
Cheers. Thank you, Charlotte, for coming all the way out
to
hang out with me and have fun in Dallas.
So sweet.
And thank all of you for joining us. Before we go, December 16th is going to be our last Rombauer Hour of the year, and we're going to have a end of the year celebration. We're going to take a really fun look back at the year. There might be some nice moments to laugh at along the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we are also going to, of course, enjoy some special wines.
Yes.
Because no evening is complete without wine.
Nope.
In our books anyways.
No.
And then
Yeah, we'll look
We're gonna
forward
have a good time.
to 2022 and spending it with you guys. Please hope to meet you out in the market. We're always out there. And thank you again for joining us.
Cheers.
Cheers.